Säbener. So, ihr hört uns alle? Ja, wunderbar.
So let's start. Welcome all of you for a very special occasion, because Bayern Munich and the NHL are going to partner, and we're going to inform you about this and talk about this. In part two, we have 3 players coming on stage, but first I say welcome to Bill Daly, the Deputy Commissioner of the NHL. He traveled over the ocean with a big entourage. Welcome to you, and Rouven Kasper, a board member for marketing and sales. Rouven, let's start. What is the idea behind that cooperation with the NHL? Well, first of all, good morning here in Munich, especially for you, Bill and Keith. And the last month we were working on a new kind of cooperation. It never happened before that a football club was cooperating with such a renowned league, and the NHL is the by far strongest hockey league in the world. It's American sports. We're looking at this at a strategic view. We try to bring our fan communities together in a strategic sense. We try to open up the market for the NHL in Europe, and the NHL is trying to open up the market in America for us. A lot of exciting views to this topic, so we are happy to announce this very special cooperation with the NHL. Bill, what is the perspective of the NHL? Which role will Bayern Munich play for the NHL to grow?
Very privileged to be here. Beautiful facility, and the most iconic, probably, sports brand in all of the world. And for us to be able to partner with them on cross-promotion type opportunities and things, the possibilities are really endless. So we're really excited to be here.
Dann stelle ich eine Frage, die an Sie beide geht. Da können wir dann natürlich
So a question to both of you. Football and hockey are completely different types of sports, but as far as speed, intensity, and the fan culture is concerned, there are some parallels. Where do you see the biggest chances to get those fans together?
Well, I think the possibilities are really endless. Obviously, the co-branding opportunities of both content and merchandise opportunities, the ability to work together on things of common interest. There's a lot of really good possibilities.
If you're moving as many people as we are together throughout the world, then you just have to pick where to start. On the commercial side, we were thinking about lots of initiatives that we are trying to start. With the fan community side, we already developed first ideas that we are gonna get to start soon, and we know that we want to grow in America, and we want to invite the NHL to our community here. And hockey at this time has quite some momentum, and we are going to communicate the next games. The Hockey World Cup will be staged in Germany next year in May. And if you just look at the number of fans that the NHL has and the number of fans Bayern Munich has, then you know that it's not a small cooperation, but it's a really strategically relevant movement. There are going to be some great hockey moments with the NHL series in Germany this year in Düsseldorf, and next year in Munich. Talk us through the next month with your cooperation.
I think we're going to roll it out as quickly as we can. As Rouven said, we've been talking about the opportunities we can do. We actually think there's a lot more synergies between our two sports than we probably are given credit for. You mentioned it, the speed, the passion, the intensity, the skill of our various respective players. really feed off each other. I think there's real synergy in our dressing rooms every night. Soccer is, particularly for our European-born players, football is what they grew up with, and many of the same skills that you use for hockey are football skills. So I think we're gonna move quickly.
Noch eine Einschätzung dazu von dir?
Also grundsätzlich, was wir
Well, generally speaking, what we are planning, and we don't want to just talk about everything being rosy and golden. We want to go to work, and that's not only what we too are going to do on stage, but behind the scenes, top stars of the NHL are currently producing excellent footage with one of our players, and that's the start of our content series, if you will, fittingly to the NHL series. We're gonna make collaborations on the merchandising front where we have our strength, but the NHL is very strong, has a very strong brand as well, and we're gonna cooperate with them. And we know how strong the American sports is growing in Europe. We are cooperating with the NFL already. We know that the stadiums are always full, and if you get the top stars out of other sports disciplines and you can experience them on site, that really does something with the people. And we want to produce those moments for the people with different initiatives. We trying to make a street hockey initiative as well. We try to move the people, try to create experiences, and we know how strong Bayern Munich can benefit from those strategies. And I'm not talking about our strategy to be in America for the past 12 years already. We are going to open a residential academy in San Diego as well. But Bayern Munich basketball, we also created some sporting identity in Munich, and it derives from an American sports, and that is one of the major cornerstones of Bayern Munich. And so you know how we can profit from that, and we're going to work on that for the next years. So now we're going to open the floor for your questions. Just raise your hands. Mr. Kasper, why is there Red Bull Munich not involved, the local hockey club, or are they going to be involved? Well, you have to ask the NHL, because we had a meeting and we were not thinking about other clubs. We're a very inclusive club, but still the NHL wanted to reach a broader fan base in Europe, and that's why they approached us. And everybody knows how strategically important the American market is to us, and so we were concentrating on that connection, but I believe that the NHL is connected to the local hockey club because they're going to play there next year. But we're going to start with us first and foremost, and then we see where we go from there.
I think I touched on this before, but we both have established fan bases. We both have established business partners. We want to collaborate and share information with respect to those business partners and find ways to collaborate and move the business forward. Look, I'm not saying anything unique here. Bayern is a world-class brand. It is known worldwide. It's iconic. It's unmatched in its credibility and its authenticity in terms of how it creates its fans, and we want to learn from that.
Dann gehen wir hier in die zweite Reihe, bitte, hier vorne. Ja, das Mikrofon.
Günther Klein vom Münchner Merkur. Herr Kasper,
Mr. Kasper, the NFL will play at the Allianz Arena like every other year. Could you imagine playing the NHL there? Or would that be too much of a hustle to rebuild the stadium for the NHL? Well, you're involved with Bayern Munich for quite a while, so you know that we can think about lots of things. And we're currently trying to establish that partnership. And it's about the NHL and us growing on that eco chain, if you will, and where that might end. With which part of game. The NHL currently chose some smaller venues, but if that develops well, then we cannot rule out maybe filling the Allianz Arena with an NHL game. But we are going step by step and develop that situation, but I hear your vision.
I don't think it'll surprise anybody to hear that the sky's the limit, and certainly I could see time where the National Hockey League would stage a game in an outdoor venue like Allianz. I don't have anything to announce today, but certainly that's kind of on our radar screen as a possibility for the future. We were able to announce today that we are playing 4 more regular season games next year in the 27-28 season, bringing the Boston Bruins and the Edmonton Oilers, as well as 2 other teams to play 2 regular season games in Cologne and 2 regular season games here in Munich. And we have a commitment for a 3rd year of bringing games here. So we'll see how it all plays out. We're very optimistic we'll have significant success as we're doing in Dusseldorf, where we have 2 games on December 18th and 20th of this year. So we think the sky's the limit in terms of the opportunity.
Die nächste Frage gleich direkt daneben, der Nachbar.
Lars Marenhoff, Sportpassion. Einmal für Herrn Kasper. Es gab ja zuletzt auch so
Question to Mr. Kasper. Recently there was some criticism from Bayern Munich that you are the trailblazers for the Bundesliga and no other teams are participating like in Asia. Is the Bundesliga involved in that thing at all? And Bill, are you talking with a similar cooperation with other Bundesliga clubs? Well, I understand you were listening closely to our statements during the Asia tour, and we see ourselves as really the horse dragging the whole situation. And you can see that cooperation in that frame. And so the question, when we are going to get some new stakeholders in that cooperation, is something that the future needs to tell. But currently we are talking about that cooperation with the NHL and Bayern Munich, but it is definitely an issue that is about to grow, and we're going to go step by step. But as of now, the Bundesliga is not involved.
For us, it's a one-of-a-kind relationship. I don't think it exists in professional sports around the world. So it's the only of its kind. And I think it's going to be successful. We hope it's successful. We'll see if it's a model that we can embrace other places. Having said that, I think we're a multi-year partnership with Bayern, and I don't think we'll be going to another Bundesliga team anytime soon.
Und ich glaube, zusammenfassend kann man sagen, es gibt einen Grund, weshalb die NHL speziell auf Bayern München zugegangen ist.
But there might be a reason why the NHL approached Bayern Munich and no other club.
Ja, soll ich Bill auf Englisch fragen oder?
Wie du magst.
Okay. Bill, how are the NHL's experience with playing abroad? Because if Bayern Munich would say we have a Bundesliga match against Dortmund and we played somewhere in the US, there would be a storm of the community.
No, I don't think so. I think you're seeing more and more of that around the world, internationalization of your sports league and your product. And so we've had great success bringing games overseas. We've made a commitment to the German market in particular. Our board has made a commitment to invest, accelerate the growth of hockey in Germany. It's a great market. They're great people here. And we think the fan base can be built here. And this is a stepping stone to doing that.
Dann haben wir hier 2 Fragen auf der rechten Seite. Taufik Khalil zunächst.
Well, Bill, I don't know how much the NHL is looking into other leagues, but when you have an eye on the NFL, they are here in Europe and in Munich since a while, very successful. Does that influence you? Did you see how the fans accepted that games? How the audience was going wild in that games? Does it influence your?
Well, I think there's clearly a passion for sport in this country. There's no doubt about that, and so we see it, we value it, and it's something that we think we can also have success with. So that's why you put it on the list where it is. Plus, both the German Hockey League and the German Federation have done a fantastic job, particularly in recent years, in terms of building elite talent for the National Hockey League. We have our European Player Media Tour here tomorrow. We have 6 German-born players who are attending, and we think the future is very bright, both as a fandom, but also as a source of talent for our league.
Dann eine Reihe dahinter, Klaus Bergmann, bitte.
I'd like to ask the question, what is the timetable for how long will that partnership go, and will fans be able to buy NHL merchandise at the Bayern Munich fan store? Well, it's a partnership that is strategic, and it's not going to be a 1, 2, or 3 year situation, so it's going to be for long term. And the contract situation is accordingly. And as far as the merchandising corporation is concerned, I don't think that we are going to have NHL products in our merchandising shop. But we as Bayern Munich, we have to see that we can get the maximum out of the space that we have. But temporarily, with the Golden Series or when the German games are, then we're going to have some special retailing spaces for that.
Dann wechseln wir die Seite. Links bitte, erste Reihe. Ja.
This one's for Bill. Bill, other than the games, the Global Series games, are there plans for showing presence in other cities in Germany too?
Yes. We're already doing it to some extent, but we're going to do it on an enhanced basis. We have a global fan tour that is going to tour various cities in Germany. We have hockey days, which we operate around Europe, but we are also operating in Germany. We have NHL Street, which is a program. We have youth initiatives where we're going to partner with school systems here in Germany. So there's a full-out effort to connect with the German fan base.
Dann nochmal oben stark in der Mitte, auf der rechten Seite, ja.
For Mr. Daly, there is an European office of the NHL in Zurich. And so in general, what future plans the NHL has for Europe as a whole?
Well, again, we want to continue to expand the presence of National Hockey League games and our business in Europe. We realize we can't do it all at once, and so we are prioritizing. And we've announced that Germany is one of our priorities in terms of building that fan base. We think it's the right country at the right time for us to be investing in terms of growing our business.
But Bill, it fits to our conversation yesterday evening, and you listened to this invitation bringing your headquarters from Zurich to Munich, right? Which completely makes sense.
I did. I heard that.
Good. Thanks for this question.
Gibt es noch einen weiteren Fragewunsch? Ja, also Günter Klein. Ein letztes Mal und dann, ich sehe schon unsere Young Guys da hinten. Wir erweitern gleich das Set, aber die letzte Frage bitte.
Bill, the German players born in 2002, they have been very high picks in the draft. J.J. Peterka, Tim Stützle, and Lukas Reichel. But the years following the German hockey was not successful in the draft. Are you afraid that the German hockey could run out of talent for the NHL?
We don't think that'll happen. Obviously, we monitor those things from every European country in terms of where development is best. We have great confidence and faith in the German system in terms of continuing to develop quality hockey players.
Okay, thanks so far. Little break. Wir machen jetzt ein Foto und einen kleinen Trikottausch.
So we'll make a picture and exchange jerseys, and then we're gonna have some new acquisitions on stage.
Okay, wunderbar. Und dann bitte dabei bleiben.
Great, so stay tuned. We're gonna have a change real quick.
Und ein kleiner Tausch. Stylisch. Okay. Vielen Dank. Das Motiv erhöhen wir jetzt noch ein bisschen. Das war schon sehr schön. Das sind unsere Spieler.
So that was
Davies,
beautiful, but now we have our players, Alphonso Davies, Leon Draisaitl, and JJ Peterka. Welcome
Reicht euch ein für ein schönes Gruppenfoto.
on stage for that picture.
Okay, vielen Dank, Bill. Danke, Rouven.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Wir
Thank you very
machen
much,
hier gleich
Rouven. And we'll
Wir
continue.
bekommen noch einen Stuhl, der ist schon da. Okay, wenn ihr einfach Platz nehmt.
So
Fonsi, du
just
vielleicht in die Mitte.
take a
Fonsi, du
seat.
hier. Und ihr beide
Fonzie, you in the middle, and you over there.
Herzlich willkommen. Ihr habt schon ein bisschen was mitbekommen von hinten.
So
oder?
welcome.
Ja, bisschen.
I think you noticed some information about what we have in store. So
Du bist in Deutschland aufgewachsen, aber deine
Leon,
Karriere
you
findet natürlich in der
grew
NHL
up
statt. Wie ist
in
das
Germany,
heute,
but now your
das zu
career is
erfahren?
in the NHL. What is it to
Ja, was
learn
ganz Besonderes.
about that cooperation? Well, that is really something
Sehr, sehr viel
special.
Potenzial hier im deutschen Markt haben.
There's a lot of
Ich glaube, dass die,
potential in the German market.
Die Menschen in Deutschland,
The
ja,
people in
Eishockey
Germany,
mögen.
they
Aber ich glaub, dass
like
wir einfach,
hockey, but I
ja, dass viel mehr
believe that
Potenzial noch, generell
there's a lot
drinsteckt
more
und,
potential in the whole
ja, dass die NHL
thing,
und der FC
and the
Bayern sich da
NHL and Bayern
zusammenstellen und
Munich
das,
are cooperating,
aufstellt,
and
ist ein Riesenzeichen für Deutschland, was ganz
is a
Besonderes.
really good sign for Germany, really something special. How do you see it, JJ? You are a Bayern fan?
Freut natürlich.
Yeah, I was very happy to learn about this,
Aufgewachsen als
and
Bayern-Fan. Ich schaue meine Spiele an.
I grew up as a Bayern fan. I watch all the games,
Die
and
Partnerschaft ist natürlich,
to have that
besonders
partnership
für mich auch
is really very special for me personally as well. Fonzie, hockey is something special for you, even though you're in Munich now and where hockey's played as well. How would you try to tell your mates about hockey?
Ice hockey. For me, it's a big sport. Obviously, where I came from and how I grew up, and obviously Leon playing for Edmonton is something special. Seeing him here, you know, a guy that I watch and cheer for all the time when they play. So it's incredible.
Incredible, genau. Incredible ist auch, wenn die Oilers wieder nach Deutschland kommen.
It's going to be incredible when the Oilers are going to return to Germany. What are your expectations? Well, I really get goosebumps just thinking about it. In 2017, I experienced that when we were playing against Cologne. And that was a really special experience. Those are the things that don't happen every year. And I really appreciate that. I'm really proud of that. And I believe that it's going to be something special for JJ as well. And I'm really looking forward to this, to play in front of family and friends in a regular season game. JJ, if you had to convince a Bayern Munich player to try out hockey for one day, whom would you choose? Well, that's a really good question. I believe maybe Jamal. He appears to me to be someone who could be happy to step on the ice and shoot at a puck. And Fonzie, whom would you pick from our players as a hockey player?
I think I have to pick Joshua Kimmich with his mentality.
I'd take Joshua Kimmich.
And I would like to see him on skates for sure.
Das wäre sehr lustig. Okay. Ja, super. Wir hätten noch ein paar Fragen, aber hier sind viele Leute gekommen, die natürlich auch dasselbe an euch stellen wollen. Also dann open wir den Floor für die Fragen an die drei.
So your questions to the three guys on stage.
Die ganze Zeit dran, aber du bist der Schnellste. Okay, dann starte du.
Ja, JJ und Leon, vielleicht könnt ihr ein bisschen mal was
A question to JJ and Leon. Can you talk us through how football is being accepted in your teams in the NHL as a warm-up program? Seems to be like a regular routine. And JJ, when you came here with Buffalo 2 years ago, you were traveling to Bayern Munich campus as well. What is the footballing culture in your teams? Well, in our team throughout the last years, it really grew in the past years with the World Cup as well. A couple of people was jumping on the bandwagon really, and there's still a lot of work to be done when it really comes to the actual playing of football. That's where the Canadians and the North Americans, apart from Fonzie, they are not on the front row really, but I believe that they are definitely enjoying it. Well, I'm going to add to that before the games we are kicking the ball about a little bit. The Europeans are a bit better in that, obviously, but like Leon had said, with the World Cup this year, some have really enjoyed football. And the Canadian and American friends that I have, that were attending some games, and so in a good way, really. First of all, a question to Leon and then to the three of you. Why is it Bayern Munich of all clubs? Is that what a Cologne... Why didn't you pick the Cologne club? What can hockey learn from football, and what can football learn from hockey? Well, first of all, I have to make clear that I'm not the one who started this partnership, but I believe that Bayern Munich is the number one club in Germany when it comes to sport and football, obviously, and I believe that this makes a lot of sense for all parties involved. But still, I like FC Cologne, and I hope for them to have a good season. And football and hockey, well, it's sport on the highest level, and every sports discipline has differences meant on the mental side, be it the technical side, but there are some things that are pretty similar in those sporting disciplines, and it has a lot to do with the euphoria of the fans from the outside and engaging with the fans. So the NHL, the Bundesliga, and Bayern Munich, they're on a good way, really. Well, I believe that if you look at the games and are involved a bit, the preparation is pretty interesting to see how they are preparing for the games. That is on the highest level. So I'd say that this is really interesting to see that with different disciplines.
There's not many big difference, obviously, with football and ice hockey. You know, they're both sports. I mean, one plays with boots, one plays with ice, skates, sorry. But yet again, I mean, we're all athletes. We all prepare the same mentally, physically. Obviously, they might be a bit stronger than us because all the hits they take, but overall, I think the differences are not so big.
Dann wechseln wir auf die linke Seite, bitte. Ja.
Jawohl, Carsten Hehling von der Längstes Arena in Köln. Leon, lass uns kurz über die Längstes Arena in Köln reden.
Leon, let's talk about the Lexus Arena in Cologne. We had 2 or 3 seasons, spectator record in Cologne from 12,000 to 18,000. How do you see the development in your hometown of Cologne, and is the next step to have some regular season games in Cologne and in Munich? Well, I'm very happy because there were a couple of years in Cologne that were not going according to plan. But I think Cologne always has been and always will be a sports city. You can see it at Cologne Football Club, or the euphoria at the Cologne Sharks, the hockey club, and the Lexus Arena really makes sense as a sporting venue to have those NHL games in Cologne. And I'm looking forward to that. I grew up there. I was watching a lot of games at Lexus Arena myself, and I'm happy for it. Are there differences or special techniques in football or in hockey? We were talking about mentality and that have similarities, like the dribble, where you can look at the other sports, and Alphonso Davies, you all had some injury problems where you needed this mentality in order to get through that situation. So how are you coping with that situation that Jamal Musiala has, and how can you support him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you guys knew that I dealt with hamstring injuries, the last couple months now. Mentally, it drains you, but I think you just have to stay strong. Through your work, every day you come to the training ground, or every time you put in the work, you have to stay strong. For Jamal, I think for us, we want to support him, not just Jamal Musiala, the player, but Jamal Musiala, the person as well. I think the doctors are doing everything they can to help the situation. But for us, I think we have to support him as a friend, a brother, or a son as well.
Okay, nächster Fragewunsch. Rouven Stark in der Mitte auf der rechten Seite.
A question to JJ. Not too long ago, you were opening up an arena in Buchbach. How do you see the partnership with the NHL? Are you hoping some new arena developments in the future? Well, I think it was good the way it turned out to be. It's going to be expanded. It's good to have ice in that arena and to get people on the ice. And we had a really successful summer in that regard. And particularly with that area of Erding and Rosenheim, we had lots of involvement. And hopefully that helps with the publicity that we are getting. But at this time, it's really turning out nicely, and I'm happy about it.
Alphonso, you grew up in Edmonton. You are an Oilers fan, obviously. You've even watched Stanley Cup final games on site. So tell us, who's your favorite Oilers player and why? And what do you think about the Oilers for the upcoming?
He's smart here. He's smart.
That is crazy. I think for me, all of them are my favorite hockey and Edmonton Oilers player. No, the team is, over the years, you see the team getting stronger and stronger. I think it's just enjoyable to watch, every time I get back home, to watch these guys play, to watch the fight they bring and the mentality they have. But, no, I can't pick a favorite one. But, but no, all of them are top players. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. So, yeah, it's nice to watch them.
Auf der rechten Seite, bitte, Reihe 2, bitte nochmal, ja.
Alphonso, Thomas Müller has created a little bit of a buzz in Vancouver already. What do you think will be the reaction on this cooperation in your home country?
I think the reaction will be top. Thomas going to Vancouver, you know, lining up over there. I think more and more people are paying attention, obviously, to football in the country. And now this, you know, partnership comes along. I think it's going to be something special.
Dann in der vorletzten Reihe, ja, bitte. Gib ein kurzes Handzeichen, ja.
Ja, Christoph Dommes von ProSieben. Ich habe eine Frage an Leon und an JJ. Es steht wieder eine Heim-WM an im kommenden Jahr.
There's going to be a home World Cup this upcoming year. We're talking about this already. Can you talk us through what's going through your mind? Leon, you were on the ice in 2017, and JJ, how did you experience that home World Cup? Well, I was starting into the tournament a bit later, but it's going to be something special to play at home in front of family and friends. I grew up 10 minutes away from that stadium, and to play for your country at a home World Cup, I don't really have to talk about this. This is very special. So it's going to be a great tournament for sure, and Germany is always organizing great tournaments, and even though I'd like to play there, obviously I'd prefer playing in the NHL playoffs or the finals, but if that's not the case, then I'm going to be taking part in that World Cup. Well, I was really young at that time for a World Cup, but I watched it on television, and it was great to see the euphoria in the whole country and everybody watching it. So it's going to be a really great event, and everyone can look forward to it. To both hockey players, you're playing indoors, but the NHL said sky's the limit, so why not play at Allianz Arena and think big, as Bayern Munich has that big sporting facility? Is that something that could be possible with the size of that venue? And is that something that you could dream of as someone from Munich, and even the guy from Cologne could dream about it? Well, absolutely. I've never played outdoors, but I believe that Munich would have everything that's needed for that. And if you can't play football at Allianz Arena, maybe hockey. Well, I totally agree.
Oli Zwartjes von Sky. This one is for Fonzie. As Canadian citizen, it's normal to love hockey, but what fascinates you the most when we talk about that sport?
I think what fascinates me the most, the first time I watched a hockey game, is the fighting. Yeah, when they go out there and punch each other in the face. But I think for me, it was something, watching was spectacular, because you never seen that in any sport. You know, they embrace that culture and just the mentality to get back up and, you know, go out there again and continue playing the sport like nothing happened. So it's truly amazing to see.
In der zweiten Reihe nochmal Günter Koch, bitte.
This is to Fonzie. We talked a lot about what's similar in football and hockey, but there's one big difference, and that is the NHL has a salary cap. As a Bayern Munich player, are you happy that there is no salary cap in football, especially in Germany? And what do you think? Would you like to have a tight competition as the NHL has it? Thanks.
Yeah, obviously I'm happy that there's no salary cap in football. Yeah, I think I don't really know how the salary cap works over there. I think it's just, like you said, salary cap. But yeah, I think over the next couple of years, hopefully, maybe they get rid of it and see more and more competition. You know, more and more good players moving to similar teams or different teams, and making the league more competitive as it is now. I mean, obviously the league is super competitive, you know, with the salary cap. But yeah, yet again, I don't know. Maybe ask him.
Okay. Auf der linken Seite nochmal.
Sure, we'll move on. Let's move on.
Die Frage ist an JJ. Ihr kommt mit den Boston Bruins nach
Question to JJ. You're going to travel to Munich with the Boston Bruins. You have Marco Sturm as a coach and Lukas Reiche. Have you talked about this already? And what did the two tell you? Well, they are looking forward to that, just as I do. Well, I think Marco broke the news to me when he learned it. So we're absolutely looking forward to it. It's going to be my second game in Munich. The first was really cool, and with the friends and family there, with all the fans that I grew up with, and I'm really looking forward to that. So the final question. A question to Fonzie. We're mentioning Jamal twice already. How did you learn from his medical situation, and how can you cope with that best way as a team?
You got to know the same way, everyone knew. I mean, obviously, the last two situation was heartbreaking. Seeing him like this. But knowing Jamal, I think he's going to come back stronger. The doctors are doing everything they can to help the situation. And yeah, the best thing we can do right now as teammates is just give him positive energy and keep his mind clear and help him fight through it.
Dann eine allerletzte Frage bitte, ja, in der Mitte.
Question to JJ. You were at the Sunshine Hockey League in Austria this summer. How did you like it? How did that come about? And could you imagine having such a format in your preseason preparation? Well, I was at a hockey camp in Klagenfurt, and a good friend of mine, Marco Kasper, he was playing there, and he asked me whether I could join them for a weekend, and that's how it came about. It was really great fun, and they won the league the next weekend. But it's pretty common that you have those leagues in America and in Canada as well, and I'd be happy to have that a development of a league like that to play once a week in that area, and I'd really appreciate that. So thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for you and your answers. So let's take a photo at the end of you three.